Good morning and welcome to Live at 11 this Thursday morning. We are so glad that you are tuning in, whether live right now or even later on today. But it is so good for you to join with us. We've kicked off this new year with a bang. We are now going through the second week of January, and what a joy it is to continue to serve the Lord here at Woodland Hills. Church, I just want to encourage us this morning. Wednesday nights we start a new series walking through the book of Nehemiah at Woodland Hills at Mason Creek. And every Wednesday we're just walking through this idea of rebuilding, this idea of re-engaging, this idea of continuing to seek the Lord with everything that we do. And so I have spent many a time still just diving into the book of Nehemiah and just digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm so excited for what the Lord is going to be doing, what the Lord is continuing to do at Woodland Hills. But this morning I just want to share just a quick thought found in Nehemiah. In fact, in Nehemiah chapter 1, Nehemiah hears about what is going on with Judah and his hometown. He's hearing about what the people of Israel is dealing with. In fact, they have been released from captivity, released back from exile. They've gone back home, and it's been a whole century since they have done anything, since they have been back. They have not rebuilt the houses. They have not rebuilt the temple. They have not rebuilt any of the walls. They have not done anything to fortify the city. They have not done anything to get back to chasing after the Lord. And Nehemiah hears this, and he is saddened. He is burdened. He is broken-hearted over what was going on. In fact, in Nehemiah chapter 1, it says, "When I heard these words, I sat down and wept. I mourned for a number of days, fasting and praying before the God of heaven." In fact, we can see that through Nehemiah's experience here in chapter 1, that he learned how to weep and pray. Last night we began chapter 2 and we learned in Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 4 there's this idea again, and he is going before the king and he is very sad and he's burdened with what is going on back at his hometown, back with his people. And he gave this request to the king, and because the king asked in verse 4, "What is your request?" "So I prayed to the God of heaven," and then verse 5 it goes into, "and then I answered the king." And he shared his burden about Judah. You see, it's interesting enough that through chapter 1, he learned how to weep and pray. But then in chapter 2, his weeping and praying turns into waiting and praying. For you and I today, God has called us to do a great thing. God has called us to do something greater than we have ever imagined. But there's 4 things that we need to learn how to do. We first need to learn how to pray. We need to learn that before we do anything at all, that we are praying and seeking the Lord. The second thing we need to do is to prepare. If we are going to be praying and asking God to do something, then we need to be preparing for the answer. It's a lot like asking God to answer a prayer and expecting the answer. In fact, I mentioned this last night. I heard a story once about a farmer that he prayed for rain over and over and over and never planted the fields. But then there was another farmer, and he prayed for rain, and he went out and he planted the fields, and he got the seeds ready for the rain to come. Now, which one do you truly